I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately. End immediately.
A showdown between Delta Force operators and a ruthless Mexican cartel has lit up social media, fueling intense speculation among viewers worldwide. Gritty body cam clips show masked soldiers in tense standoffs, blazing gunfights, and frantic radio chatter that make Hollywood thrillers look tame. Experts warn this shocking leak could escalate a new wave of conflict in the US-Mexico border. Is this real-life special ops warfare unleashed, or too explosive to be true? Deployment of Delta Force against cartels. Delta Force is one of the United States' most elite special operations units, known for handling dangerous missions around the world. Recently, there has been growing talk about sending these highly skilled operators to confront the powerful Mexican drug cartels. With President Donald Trump labeling certain cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, the government is allowed to use more extreme measures, including direct military actions against them. Cartels like the Sinaloa Cartel and the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, have extended their reach, trafficking drugs like fentanyl into American cities. They have also become more aggressive, attacking U.S. Border Patrol agents and using weaponized drones. The heavy violence has pushed the U.S. government to consider stronger tactics, and Delta Force appears to be the most lethal option. If Delta Force is truly deployed to Mexico, it would mark a serious escalation in the war on drugs. Operators would carry out raids on cartel strongholds, aiming to shut down trafficking routes and capture or kill high-ranking members. They would use advanced technology, such as infrared drones and electronic warfare systems, to disable communications and pinpoint hidden tunnels. The goal would be to cripple cartel networks quickly, with minimal danger to civilians. However, the cartels have proven that they can adapt. Their bunkers, fortified compounds, and use of hostages put everyone at risk. Some cartels even employ former military personnel, which could make them harder to defeat than ordinary criminals. Still, Delta Force operators are trained for high-intensity battles. They specialize in hostage rescue, direct action missions, and counter-terrorism, giving them an advantage in high-stakes engagements. Critics worry that using Delta Force might spark more violence on both sides of the border. They warn about the possibility of revenge attacks on U.S. soil if the cartels feel cornered. Others argue that a short, intense campaign led by the best-trained unit in the nation might finally break the cartel's grip on drug trafficking and protect American communities. In the end, the decision to send Delta Force against the cartels is not simple. It raises issues of international law, civilian safety, and the possibility of a sustained conflict. But as the cartels continue to grow and threaten public security, many believe that unleashing Delta Force might be the only way to finally stop them. Operations and tactics of Delta Force. Delta Force, also known as 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta, is one of America's most secretive and skilled military units. Their core mission is direct action, which involves hunting high-value targets, rescuing hostages, and destroying enemy structures. Much of their success comes from intense training that combines weapons handling, advanced marksmanship, and full-scale mock raids. Delta operators practice these drills regularly, honing the ability to strike quickly and silently. One major element of Delta Force operations is stealth. They often infiltrate enemy territory under the cover of darkness, using advanced night vision devices to see and neutralize targets before they even realize what's happening. They also rely on aerial intelligence, including thermal imaging drones that spot hidden threats on the ground. By combining real-time data with precise tactics, Delta teams can hit a location, secure it, and disappear within minutes. When it comes to technology, Delta Force uses some of the most cutting-edge tools in the military. They employ electronic warfare to jam communications and block enemy signals, keeping cartel leaders and their foot soldiers in the dark. They also rely on ground-penetrating radar to locate hidden tunnels and bunkers, ensuring that no safe place is beyond their reach. These methods allow them to break into fortified compounds, reduce collateral damage, and quickly secure their objectives. Another key tactic is coordinated air support. Helicopters, drones, and even jets often back Delta teams to provide protective fire or rapid evacuation if the situation turns dangerous. This close collaboration between ground operators and pilots creates a powerful system that can adapt to dynamic threats. By having total situational awareness, Delta Force can handle any unexpected resistance, from machine gun nests to booby traps. A crucial part of Delta Force's success lies in gathering human intelligence. Delta operators often work with local informants, intercept communications, and analyze social networks. Through these methods, they locate high-ranking cartel figures, track smuggling routes, and plan assaults that cut off crucial resources. Targeting finances, labs, and leadership disrupts cartel operations at their core, weakening them from the inside out. Overall, Delta Force's approach to warfare is marked by precision, agility, and shock. They train constantly, test new equipment, and refine attack plans. Whether it's storming a hidden drug facility or capturing key cartel leaders, Delta Force is prepared to strike with speed and confidence. Their highly secretive nature, paired with advanced tactics, makes them one of the most formidable military units in the world. Underestimating them is a mistake no foe can afford. Cartel's countermeasures to U.S. military action. Cartels have developed various ways to resist and counter the growing military pressure from the United States. First, they rely on fortified compounds and underground bunkers to withstand raids. These structures often feature hidden tunnels built for quick escapes when law enforcement or special forces move in. Cartel groups work with former military personnel who use their professional expertise to train new recruits in tactics such as ambushes, sniper operations, and even the use of explosive devices. Several cartels have also invested heavily in technology to stay a step ahead. For instance, they employ weaponized drones that can drop explosives on convoys and border patrol sites. This tactic forces U.S. security forces to devise stronger countermeasures. Cartels also jam or intercept radio signals, making it harder for American agents to coordinate operations. Such systems are not foolproof, but they still pose a significant obstacle. In metropolitan areas, cartels blend into the local population, minimizing large-scale confrontations. They maintain safe houses spread across various neighborhoods, relying on lookouts and street gangs to alert them about military raids. This network of sentries, coupled with advanced communication apps, helps them stay one step ahead of authorities. Bribery also remains a big part of their strategy. By targeting local law enforcement and officials, cartels secure safer routes for smuggling and receive tips about looming crackdowns. Another disturbing trend is the use of child soldiers and forced recruitment. Some cartels resort to kidnapping and indoctrinating minors, arming them and making them guard stash houses or participate in ambushes. This creates moral and legal dilemmas for any military unit facing them. It is a brutal but effective way to expand their ranks and deter aggressive strikes by U.S. forces that fear civilian casualties. Cartels also push propaganda through social media, posting videos that flaunt their firepower and training, while sometimes hiding the harsh reality of cartel life. These clips serve as both intimidation and recruitment tools. Additionally, high-profile acts of violence, like highway blockades or public shootouts, send a message to officials about the risks of direct confrontation. Finally, the cartels employ financial countermeasures, laundering money through businesses, cryptocurrency, and false storefronts to sustain their operations. By stashing profits in offshore accounts or quickly shifting funds through digital platforms, they stay organized and well-equipped. Taken together, these countermeasures make the cartels more resilient. Even as elite units like Delta Force apply pressure, cartels prove ready to adapt, using ruthless strategies to keep their power. Delta Force's advantages. Delta Force stands out as the top-tier special operations unit of the U.S. military, with advantages that give them unmatched power in high-risk conflicts. First, their training sets them apart. From day one, Delta recruits are pushed to master shooting, close-quarters combat, evasive driving, and advanced marksmanship. They train in realistic scenarios that mimic everything from desert raids to urban assaults. This relentless preparation ensures they can strike swiftly and decisively under intense pressure. Next, Delta Force has technology on its side. They use cutting-edge drones equipped with thermal imaging to spot hidden targets, and advanced night vision gear that makes operating in darkness feel like daylight. Their electronic warfare units can jam or hijack cartel communications, preventing enemies from organizing counterattacks. Ground-penetrating radar systems help reveal hidden drug tunnels and bunkers, giving operators a crucial edge when facing well-prepared cartel safe houses. Their mobility is also a major strength. Delta teams can deploy quickly by air or land, working alongside helicopters, unmanned aerial vehicles, and ground vehicles to move in and out of hostile areas before enemies can react. Air support is never far away, allowing them to carry out swift raids, seize enemy compounds, and disappear without leaving a trace. Team cohesion is another key factor in Delta Force's success. These operators trust one another with their lives. That trust is built through countless hours of shared training and missions, making them a tight-knit group that can adapt to unforeseen challenges. Each member has expertise in various fields: explosives, sniping, communications, or medical aid, so they can step in wherever needed. Moreover, Delta Force benefits from high-level intelligence gathered by multiple agencies. They don't simply rush in blind. They spend weeks or months mapping out enemy networks, studying patrol patterns, analyzing financial data, and pinpointing cartel leadership. By the time they launch an operation, they already know weak spots and escape routes, so their missions have a higher chance of success. Finally, Delta's stealth and direct action approach allows them to conduct raids that minimize risk to civilians. Their goal is to hit targets surgically, often in the dead of night, to reduce civilian casualties and keep missions as precise as possible. Combining extreme discipline with an emphasis on secrecy, Delta Force leverages every resource at its disposal to stay several steps ahead of the cartels. Through top-tier training, advanced tools, rapid mobility, and strong teamwork, Delta Force holds a clear advantage on any battlefield it enters. Cartel's brutality and escalation. Cartels in Mexico have shown a shocking level of brutality, using ruthless tactics to spread fear and maintain control. Many of these groups began as criminal organizations focused on drug trafficking, but they have expanded into extortion, kidnapping, and even social media propaganda. Videos have surfaced depicting appalling actions, bodies strung across highways as warnings, innocents attacked in their homes, and armed hitmen terrorizing entire neighborhoods. In some cases, cartels even target civilians who accidentally offend them, like the woman whose hair was forcefully shaved for honking her horn at a cartel vehicle. A chilling example of this brutality is the recruitment of child soldiers. After one cartel leader's arrest, video footage revealed two young boys holding guns. Their expressions conveyed that they had little choice in joining such a violent life. By exploiting children, cartels reinforce a new generation of fighters who grow up learning nothing but fear and aggression. Public displays of violence are common. Cartels have fired upon airplanes at airports, forcing closures, and set vehicles ablaze to create chaos. Entire cities have been besieged by these criminal armies, who block roads and storm government buildings. When major cartel leaders are arrested, their followers often respond by launching large-scale attacks that drive residents indoors and paralyze local businesses. Rivalries between cartels add another layer of terror. Groups like the Sinaloa Cartel and the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, clash in deadly turf wars, leaving dozens of bodies behind and displacing countless families. The CJNG, in particular, has transformed from a cleanup force into one of the most violent cartels in Mexico. They employ modern weaponry, including drones armed with explosives, and often strike without warning. Cartel violence can spill over the border, where they confront U.S. law enforcement and even threaten drone strikes against American personnel. Some cartels execute ambushes on highways, gunning down officers and seizing entire streets. They also use gruesome intimidation tactics, like filming hostages and forced confessions, then broadcasting the footage online to spread fear and showcase their power. These organizations are more than typical street gangs. They operate like private militaries, with access to advanced weaponry and the funds to bribe public officials. They may start as local drug distributors, yet their brutality escalates rapidly as they grow. By terrorizing authorities and rival gangs alike, cartels secure their territory through raw violence. Sadly, innocent people often get caught in the middle, witnessing how these criminal networks use fear and force to keep their strong grip on entire regions. Potential for escalation and consequences. The conflict between U.S. forces and Mexican cartels carries a serious risk of spiraling into a wider, more violent struggle. Cartel groups, such as the Sinaloa Cartel and the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, have grown bolder over time. extending their operations across Mexico and even deeper into the United States. Each new wave of arrests and extraditions, like those of El Chapo and Ovidio Guzman, has sparked public chaos, blocked roads, and intense gunfights. In response, the U.S. military considers stronger actions, including the use of elite units like Delta Force. However, deploying these forces could set off dangerous consequences. Cartels use extreme tactics to protect their territory, including kamikaze drone attacks, public intimidation, and even child soldiers. By making examples of rivals or perceived enemies through gruesome acts, they send a clear message: they will not back down. If the U.S. escalates its involvement, the cartels are likely to retaliate with wider threats or strikes on American soil. Such aggression could involve targeting civilian areas, raising the risk to innocent people. With potential U.S. military action on the table, cartels are reinforcing their defenses. They have fortified safe houses, built hidden tunnels, and stockpiled weapons with help from corrupt officials and former soldiers. Cartels also use sophisticated money laundering schemes, cryptocurrency, and legitimate businesses to hide and move large sums of cash. These measures mean that even if the U.S. scores short-term victories, the cartels could regroup and continue to cause instability. Moreover, these criminal organizations now have a significant presence in many U.S. cities, smuggling drugs like fentanyl that have devastated local communities. If the cartels feel threatened by a direct American assault, they may expand attacks beyond Mexico, striking at law enforcement agents, politicians, or civilians in the United States. In such a scenario, the line between foreign and domestic threats becomes blurry, fueling widespread fear among the public. The uncertainty of how the Mexican government will react to full-scale U.S. military intervention also adds to the risk. While some Mexican officials might quietly approve of assistance against cartels, open acceptance of U.S. troops could spark nationalist backlash or unrest. Meanwhile, international observers might see this as a violation of Mexican sovereignty, potentially triggering diplomatic disputes or protests within Mexico and abroad.